वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके नैष्टिकी। Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 14, the disappearance of Lord Krishna, Shloka number 37 and 38. Yat padashushrunam mukhya karmana
यत् पादशुश्रुनं मुख्यकर्मणा
satya adayah društva satya adayah dvi ashtasasrayoshitah
सत्य आदयः द्वि-अष्टसहस्रयोषितः
निर्जित्य संके त्रिदशान् तद आशिषः
निर्जित्य संख्ये त्रिदशान्तदाशिषः
रन्ति व्रज आयुध वल्लभ उचिताः
हरन्ति वज्रायुधवल्लभ ऊचिताः
यद्बाहु दण्ड अभ्युदय अनुजीविनः
यद्बाहुदण्ड अभ्युदय अनुजीविनः
यदु प्रवरो हि अकुत भयामुः
यत् प्रवरौ हि अकुतो भयामुहुः
अधिक्रमन्ति अङ्घ्रिभिः आवृतः बलात्
अधिक्रमन्ति अङ्घ्रिभिः आरुहता बलात्
सभां सुधर्मां सुरसत्तम ऊचिताम्
सभां सुधर्मां सुरसत्तम ऊचिताम्
यत् पादशुश्रूषण मुख्य कर्मणा
यत्पादशुश्रुतमुख्यकर्मणा
सत्य आदय द्वि अष्ट सहस्र योषितः
सत्य आदयः द्वि-अष्टसहस्रयोषितः
निर्जिते संके त्रिदशान्तद आशिषः
निर्जित्य संख्ये त्रिदशान्तदाशिषः
हरन्ति व्रज आयुध वल्लभ उचिताः
हरन्ति वज्र आयुधवल्लभ उचिताः
यद्बाहु दण्ड अभ्युद्य अनुजीविनः
यद्बाहुदण्ड अभ्युदय अनुजीविनः
यदु प्रवीरा हि अकुतो भयामुः
यदु प्रवराः हि अकुतो भयामुहुः
अधिक्रमन्ति अङ्घ्रिभिः आवृताः बलात्
अधिक्रमन्ति अङ्घ्रिभिः आरुताः बलात्
सभां सुधर्मां सुरसत्तम उचिताम्
सभां सुधर्मां सुरसत्तमूचिताम्
यत् पादशुश्रूषण मुख्य कर्मणा सत्य आदयः द्वि अष्ट सहस्र योषितः निर्जित्य संख्ये त्रिदशान् तत् आशिषः हरन्ति व्रज आयुध वल्लभ ओचिताः यद्बाहो दण्ड अभ्युदय अनुजीविनः यदु प्रवीरा हि अकुतो भया मुहुः अधिक्रमन्ति अङ्घ्रिभिः आवृतां बलात् सभां सुधर्मां सुरसत्तम उचिताम्। हरे कृष्ण। साधु संघ प्रभु जी प्लीज रीड।
शुश्रूषण मुख्य कर्मणा सत्य अद्य द्रव्य अष्टसहस्रयोषिताः निर्जित्य संख्ये त्रिदशान् अष्टदश आशिषोः हरन्ति वज्र आयुधवल्लभ ऊचिताः यद्बाहुदण्ड अभ्युद्य अनुजीविनः यदु प्रवीरा हि अकुतो भयामुहुः अधिक्रमन्ति अङ्घ्रिभिः राहृता बलात् सभां सुधर्मां सुरसुत्तम ऊचिताम्।
आशीष प्रभु जी। Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Simply by administering comforts at the lotus feet of the Lord, which is the most important of all services. The queens at Dvārakā, headed by Satyabhāmā, induced the Lord to conquer the demigods. Thus, the queens enjoy thing prerogatives of the wives of the controller of thunderbolts. The great heroes of the Yadu dynasty, being protected by the arms of Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, always remain fearless in every respect, and therefore their feet trample over the Sudharmā assembly house, which the best demigod deserved, but which was taken away from them. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Satyabhāmā, one of the principal queens of the Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa at Dvārakā. After killing Narkasur, Lord Krishna visited the palace of Narkasur accompanied by Satyabhāmā. He went to the Indraloka also with Satyabhāmā, and she was received by Sachidevi, who introduced her to the mother of the demigods Aditi. Please delete this. Aditi was very much pleased with Satyabhāmā, and she blessed her with the benediction of permanent youth as long as Lord Krishna remained on the earth. Aditi also took her with her to show her the special prerogatives of the demigods in the heavenly planets. When Satyabhāmā saw the Parijat flower, she desired to have it in her palace at Dvārakā. After that, she came back to Dvārakā along with her husband and expressed her willingness to have the Parijat flower at her palace. Satyabhāma's palace was specially bedecked with valuable jewels, and even in the hottest season of summer, the inside of the palace remained cool, as if air conditioned. She decorated her palace with various flags, heralding the news of her great husband's presence there. Once, along with her husband, she met Draupadi, and she was anxious to be instructed by Draupadi in the ways of means of pleasing her husband. Draupadi was expert in this affair because she kept her husband, the Pandavas, and all were very much pleased with her. On receipt of Draupadi's instruction, she was very much pleased and offered her good wishes and returned to Dvārakā. She was the daughter of Satyajit. After the departure of Lord Krishna, when Arjuna visited Dvārakā, all the queens, including Satyabhāma and Rukmini, lamented for the Lord with great feeling. At the last stage of her life, she left for the forest to undergo severe penance. Satyabhāma instigated her husband to get the Parijat flower from the heavenly planets, and the Lord got it even by force from the demigods. As a common husband secures things to please his wife, as already explained, the Lord had very little to do with so many wives to carry out their orders like an ordinary man. But because the queens accepted the high quality of devotional service, namely administering the Lord all comfort, the Lord played the part of a faithful and complete husband. No earthly creature can expect to have things from the heavenly kingdom, especially the Parijat flower, which are simply to be used by the demigods. But due to their becoming the Lord's faithful wives, all of them enjoyed the special prerogatives of the great wives of the denizens of heaven. In other words, since the Lord is the proprietor of everything within his creation, it is not very astonishing for the queens of Dvārakā to have any rare thing from any part of the universe. Those who are directly servitor of the Lord are protected by the Lord from all fear, fullness, and they also enjoy the best of things, even if they are forcibly accumulated. The Lord is equal in behavior to all living beings, but he is partial to his pure devotee, being uh, being very affectionate toward them. The city of Dvārakā was flourishing, being enriched with the best of things in the material world. The state assembly house is constructed according to the dignity of the particular state. In the heavenly planets, the state assembly house called Sudharmā was deserving of the dignity of the best of the demigods, such as assembly house is never meant for any state on the globe because the human being on the earth is unable to construct it. However, for a particular state may be materially advanced, but during the time of Lord Krishna's presence on the earth, the members of the Yadu family forcibly brought the celestial assembly house to earth and placed it at Dvārakā. They were able to use such force because they were certain of the indulgence and protection of the Supreme Lord Krishna. In other words, the Lord is provided with the best thing in the universe by his pure devotees. Lord Krishna was provided with all kinds of comforts and facilities available within the universe by the members of the Yadu dynasty, and in return, such servitors of the Lord were protected and fearless. A forgetful conditioned soul is fearful, but a liberated soul is never fearful. Just as a small child, completely dependent on the mercy of his parents, uh, uh, his father is never fearful of anyone. Fearfulness is the sort of illusion for the living being when he is a slumber and forgetting his eternal relation with the Lord. Since the living being is never to die by his constitution, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.20, then what is the cause of fearfulness? A person may be fearful of a tiger in a dream, but another man who is awakened by his side sees no tiger there. The tiger is myth of, for both of them, namely the person dreaming and the person awake, because actually there is no tiger, but the man forgetful of his awakened life is fearful, whereas the man who has not forgotten his position is not at all fearful. Thus, the members of the Yadu dynasty fully awake in their service to the Lord, and therefore there was no tiger for them to be afraid of at any time. Even if there were a real tiger, the Lord was there to protect them. Om Jnana Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guroho Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadesha Tarine Vancha kalpatarubhe च कृपा सिंधुभे एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. We try to understand shloka number 38 and 39. Here they describe about the great heroes of Yadu dynasty, how they, the resident of the Dvārakā, are servitor of the Lord, are protected by the Lord from all fearfulness. Then here describe about the Satyabhāmā, how she is doing the role of principal queen of the Lord Krishna's 16,108 queens. All these points are describing. Prabhuji will tell us in detail. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, as we have been seeing since many days, Bhagavatam is that ripened fruit of all the scriptures, which glorifies the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Śrī Kṛṣṇa, and his pure devotees. And these verses, which we are studying today, highlight the extraordinary position of Krishna's devotees, particularly the Yadus, who enjoyed unparalleled strength, fearlessness, and divine grace simply because of their association with the Lord. Bhagavatam repeatedly teaches us that true power, protection, and fulfillment comes only through devotional service to Krishna. And the Yadu dynasty, despite being materially powerful, was ultimately dependent on Krishna's presence for its glory. So these verses are actually an inspiration for us to cultivate the same unwavering devotion towards the Lord. And this is what is being said by Yudhishthir Maharaj, who says that simply by administering comforts at the lotus feet of Krishna, the queens of Dvārakā induce the Lord to conquer the demigods. Now, lotus feet of Krishna, serving them is the most important of all services. And the queens of Dvārakā, they were headed by Satyabhāmā. So the queens enjoy things which are prerogatives of the wives of the controller of the thunderbolts, that is Indradev. And all of that could be enjoyed by them here. Yudhishthira Maharaj perfectly highlights that how the great heroes of the Yadu dynasty, they are protected by the arms of Krishna and so always remain fearless in every respect. Their feet trample over the Sudharma's assembly house, which actually the best demigods deserved, but which was taken away from them. So, such a wonderful explanation, and all this because of their association with Krishna. Prabhupada ji highlights about Satyabhāmā, who was one of the principal queens, how after killing Narkasur, Krishna had visited the palace of Narkasur accompanied by Satyabhāmā. Then he went to Indraloka, where they were received by Sachi Devi, who were introduced to Mother Aditi. And Satyabhāmā was blessed by her that she will be permanently young as long as Krishna remained on earth. And then Aditi also showed her the heavenly planets and what all special arrangements were there for the demigods. And when she saw Parijat flower, she wanted it to be there in her palace at Dvārakā. And then she told Krishna that she wanted to have Parijat flower. Now, Satyabhama's palace already was very nicely decorated with valuable jewels. And it was such that even in the hot season, it used to be cool. There were so many flags, but still, when she was there, she wanted to have Parijat flower. In fact, it is said that she took training from Draupadi on ways and means of pleasing Krishna, her husband, because Draupadi was an expert on how to manage husbands. So when Draupadi trained her, she offered her good wishes and requested Krishna that she wants the flower. Now Satyabhāmā, we all know, was daughter of Satyajit. And when Krishna departed, all the queens lamented for the Lord with great feeling, and she left for the forest at the end of her life to undergo severe penance. Regarding Parijat flower, it is mentioned that Krishna went to the heavenly planets and forcefully took it from the demigods. And thereby he exhibited what ideally an husband is supposed to do, how he is supposed to secure things to please his wife. Now, ideally, Krishna need not do anything like this. He need not carry out orders of the wife like an ordinary man. But just because the queens they had accepted the high quality of devotional service and they were administering the Lord all comforts, the Lord also played the part of a faithful and complete husband. Otherwise, for earthly human beings, we cannot expect to have things from heavenly kingdom, especially Parijat flower. But because they were all serving Krishna faithfully, they got all the special prerogatives for the denizens of heaven could enjoy. Krishna is the proprietor of everything. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. So it is not astonishing for the queens of Dvārakā to have any rare things from any part of the universe. So what we understand here is that the queens of Dvārakā they attain their exalted status not because of their material beauty or skill, but because of serving Krishna's lotus feet. So the highest position in life is achieved through devotional service, not through karma or jnana. So it shows that surrenderance to Krishna brings greater success than any material endeavor. Another aspect which we could relate from here is surpassing the celestial beauties. Now, Vedic literatures, the Apsaras are considered the epitome of beauty. But even then, Satyabhāmā and other queens of Krishna surpassed even their divine beings, proving that devotion to Krishna enhances both inner and outer beauty. And thirdly, how to receive blessings beyond material measures. The queens attained highest benedictions beyond what demigods could offer. Even Indra, who has the Vajra Yudha, even his opulences were overshadowed by the blessings of Krishna's devotees. So this makes us come to the application in our lives that instead of seeking material achievements, we should dedicate our lives to serve Krishna. Secondly, material beauty, intelligence, fame are temporary, but devotional service grants eternal fulfillment. And thirdly, the real treasure of life is Lord's mercy, which can only be obtained through sincere bhakti. And then regarding the Yadvas, Prabhupada explains how it is important that we should be serving Krishna. Because those who directly serve Krishna are protected by Krishna from all fearfulness. And they enjoy the best of things, even they are whatever way they are accumulated. Krishna practically is Samadarshina, but is partial to his pure devotees because he is affectionate towards them. We all know that Dvāraka as a state was flourishing. Whatever was best of things in the material world was available there. Even the assembly house was constructed much, much better than the heavenly planets. Like Sudharmā is the assembly house of the demigods. But what we had in Dvārakā was even better than that. So Krishna's presence on the earth enabled the members of the Yadu family to bring even the celestial assembly house to earth and place it at Dvārakā. They were able to use such force because they were certain of protection by Krishna. In other words, Krishna is provided with best things in the universe by his pure devotees. Krishna is provided with all kinds of comforts and facilities available within the universe by the members of Yadu dynasty, and in return, all of them were protected and made fearless. Being a conditioned soul, we human beings are fearful, we are forgetful, but a liberated soul is never fearful. A small child is completely dependent on the mercy of his father and is never fearful of anyone as long as his father is there. But this fearfulness is a sort of illusion for the living being who is in slumber and forgetting his eternal relationship with Krishna. Practically, we are all souls. We are something which cannot be distracted, and Krishna made it very clear when he was speaking to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter itself. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् न अयं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूय अजः नित्यः शाश्वत अयं पुराण न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Katha Upanishad also, we find similar passage. न जायते म्रियते वा विपश्चिन् नयं कुतश्चिन्न बभूव कश्चित् अजः नित्य शाश्वत अयं पुराण न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. So this Anu Atma has a relationship with the Vibhu Atma, super soul, and we have to serve Krishna consistently, permanently. Then there can be fearlessness. We may be fearful of a tiger in a dream, but someone who is not sleeping, he knows there is no tiger, so there is no fear for it. So the person who is dreaming is afraid, but the person who is awake, because he sees there is no tiger, he is not afraid. So similarly, the members of Yadu dynasty were fully awake in their service to Lord, and so there was no question of any fear for them. Even if a real tiger would have approached, they were certain that Krishna was there to protect them in all circumstances. So the key teaching is Krishna's protection gives ultimate strength. Fearlessness is possible only in Krishna consciousness, and for that we have to ensure that we are not looking at external security but having absolute faith in Krishna's protection. We have to depend on Krishna completely in all situations because it is Him who will grant us success beyond imagination. Instead of forcibly trying to acquire material opulence, we should surrender to Krishna and receive gifts far greater than material wealth. So let us try to serve Krishna and please Him consistently, permanently, every day.